NBA Finals resume on Thursday. Let's recap Game 5. OKC covered an 8.5-point spread with a 120-109 victory on their home floor, fending off another Pacers fourth-quarter rally. Game went over despite the lowest total of the series. Jalen Williams became the second Thunder player with 40 in a Finals game, sealing over his point prop with 22.5. SGA added 31, but that was short of his point prop, 33.5. And a terrible break for the Pacers. Tyrese Haliburton suffered a calf injury early in the game, and according to our Shams Charania, will undergo an MRI to see the severity of the injury. And that news, which Shams broke today, immediately affected the line. The Thunder are now a 6.5-point favorite in their clinching opportunity on the road Thursday. That's up from 4.5 before the Charania report broke. Odds makers see OKC in full command of this series with a minus 2,000 odds. I should say minus 2,000 odds to win it. Indy 10-1 to pull the comeback, plus 210 on the money line in Game 6. So Joe and Tyler here, starting our look ahead to Game 6. What's your takeaway from the Hallie situation and what it did to the line?
Famous Warren Buffett quote, right? Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. Right now, everybody's worried about Haliburton. So much so the books are adjusting everything. You saw the side. Look at the props. His scoring prop for the last game was 17.5. This morning it was 15.5. Now it's 14.5. His rebound prop is at a series low 4.5. His assist prop is at a series low 6.5. But here's the thing. That calf injury came in the first quarter. In the second half of that game last night, he played 17 minutes, had 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. How are you going to grab 6 rebounds against OKC's too big lineup when you're battling a calf injury? Bad, yes. Cause for concern, yes. But all of this could be an overreaction driving all the prices down. I'm going to be looking to some overs. I think rebounds and assists are two I might look to the overs when it gets to Game 6.
Yeah, I think Warren Buffett gave great advice on investing, and one thing I would look at beyond Tyrese Haliburton, you talk about this all the time, is I'm sure Warren would add this kind of advice as well, is don't look at Haliburton, look at how his teammates are going to be affected if he does have an off game or if he is compromised. TJ McConnell, who we saw play great in Game 5, might get more minutes. Pascal Siakam, Aaron Nesmith might be asked to shoulder a more significant offensive load. Now, as you point out, you're not sneaking up on the books with this kind of handicapping. They have adjusted for these players, but if you can identify which one might get the bulk of that boost, if Haliburton is compromised, perhaps you can make a smart play in Game 6.
Role players better at home than on the road.
Good point.
You're going to get a better performance from some of those Indiana role players, and you got to wonder some of OKC's role players. For example, Aaron Wiggins, who went off again last night. What happens the next game out? Probably goes the other way. So,
good point.
6.5 is interesting. That's the absolute highest point you have seen OKC on the road in this series. If this calf injury isn't that debilitating, you might be finding a little bit of value there.
I wonder if it can get up higher if it's confirmed that he's going to miss time.
You almost always, if you watch the market, almost always we've had late Oklahoma City money in almost every game this series and almost every game throughout the playoffs. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this got higher.
Let's bring the ladies in here for some thoughts, starting with you, Anita. How are you looking to play this situation again with Haliburton's injury uncertainty?
Yeah, listen, I do believe that the Thunder win this series tomorrow night, but they're 1-8 against the spread in the postseason. And the Pacers, listen, they had their shot in Game 4, but they blew it. So I do believe OKC gets the win. I'm staying away from the spread. I'm going to do what you hit on here, Tyler, and that's TJ McConnell. I'm going to go 10 points, if not more. Dude's been fantastic this series. Single-handedly kept Indiana in the game on Monday. 13 points, let alone in the third quarter. And I think he's going to get plenty of time and plenty of run with Haliburton's injury. I'm not expecting Haliburton to be inactive, but I do think TJ really is going to have some really good opportunity here. So I'm saying run, don't walk, jump on this line right now, Tyler.
You did point out the struggles OKC has had covering on the road in this postseason. They are always laying such big numbers because they have been such a great team, and oftentimes that has worked for the backers of the home team, whether the Thunder have won or lost.
Those numbers are getting up there as well. Points plus assists was 11.5 last game. Now we're up to 14.5.
Aaron, what is something you noticed in Game 5 that you may be trying to leverage for Game 6?
Well, like you guys just mentioned, OKC has been great in terms of covering, so I think you could really take advantage in this game of live betting. I feel like each and every game, a lot of us on this show have just said, oh, we want to stay away from the spread. Reason being is because OKC actually hasn't been that good at covering on the road. They didn't in either game that they played so far in Indiana. Of course, this is a different situation. They could close things out, and of course, Haliburton's injury, you have to factor that in, but there's been huge swings. If you look back to last game, OKC went up by 18 points, and then all of a sudden, Indiana will end up crawling back. We know they have 5 comeback wins when down 15 or more points. I don't necessarily think that's something that could happen in this particular game, but I think you can take advantage of some of the live betting opportunities, trying to get a number that you like better than, let's say, the closing number, which, like you mentioned, has moved as high as 6.5 right now for OKC.
Indiana has gotten smoked in every single first quarter of this series except one, where they won by 1 point. So if you like Indiana and you follow that logic, you might want to watch them get blown out again in the first and then get in after that.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Take them down and try to wear I pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA, ESPN.